Good evening. Can you hear me well? Welcome to the sixth webinar by Donation Friends. Today's topic is reliable IVF courier and cryo shipping for IVF. How to choose a cryo shipping company. Our presenter today is Peter Hura from First Egg Bank. Our presentation will last about 30-40 minutes. After that, there will be time for questions from you, the viewers. You can also type your questions in the chat section below while the presenter is delivering his presentation. The questions will be answered by our expert after the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and you will be able to view it on our website. We will also publish transcript with all the questions and answers. Hello, Peter. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, Dorothy, and
Hi,
good
Peter.
evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and
Can you tell us
everyone who.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself, about what you do, and we can start the presentation.
Yeah, sure. Um, Thank you also, Dorothy, for such a nice introducing of me. I have nothing to add. And just reminded that my name is Peter, and it is an honor for me to represent today the logistic department of First Tech Bank, the biggest European bank of purified oocyte and sperm samples. And as Dorothy has already mentioned, today we will talk about the Cryo shipping of IVF samples. And the aim of this webinar is to provide you a quality information about the process of transportation and meet you with some types of it, tell you how actually we do it, and answer to all of your questions, of course. I hope all of you will find this information useful for you. Let's go to our next slide. And the task of transportation will preserve samples of biomaterial occupies nowadays a key position in the cycle of IVF services. The security of IVF sector often leads clinics and medical centers into finding new options for solving the problem of infertility and the patient themselves into changing the geography of their treatment. And the patient are free to choose the clinic and the country of their treatment, and it's growing every year. And the reason for this is different laws and regulations in different countries, uh, restriction for specific treatment programs such as surrogacy. Let's go to the next slide, because I think a lot of you knows that the most popular for transportation is transportation for surrogacy treatment, because sometimes it is the only way to get the specific treatment in the country where it's allowed. And going to the history of our company, we started to perform cryo transportation from 2007, and till 2017, number of shipments. I will go to our next slide. Number of our shipment has grown to over 200 per year, and our first shipment was delivered to Israel, where two wonderful babies were born from the delivered embryos. And in that time, we delivered frozen biological materials, embryos, and sperm samples, as well as beautified oocytes, to more than 25 countries in the world. And over 1,000 babies have been born. And we are very happy that we was a part of that. We helped grow the life this world. So let's go to our next slide. But actually, the service of courier shipping is not only an option of physical transportation of material from one point to another, as a lot of people used to think. Indeed, it's a complex solution to the issue of IVF samples we are shipping, which includes communication with customers, uh, preparation of the requested documents, some process of adjustment and logistic operation. Uh, and of course, a lot of people are included to that working processes. And it's the only way to make each delivery safe and successful. And if we will talk about delivery solutions, there are two main shipping methods. The first one is on the road transporting liquid nitrogen, and the second one, air transport under presence of a supervisor. The on-road transport is a quick way to transporting samples on short and middle distances. As I remember, up to 1,500 kilometers, and this kind of transport can prevent complication with safety checks in airports and enables better scheduling of the sample transport. And the transportation container can be completely filled with liquid nitrogen, which provides with an absolute stable temperature of minus 1096 degrees. And this can be used in the same vertification technique, which requires extremely fast freezing in liquid nitrogen. Samples uh, preserved like this of the binding volume, their exposure to temperatures about minus 1070 degrees represents a very high risk, even for a short period of time. And what is the difference between on-road transportation and air transportation? Um, One of the highest risks with reproductive cells is their exposure to X-ray radiation or unauthorized handling when opening the container. To minimize this risk, our supervisor accompanies your samples through the whole time, both in roads and air transportation, and ensure that no such situation occurs. The container is never handed over to any third party, and our appointed supervisor accompanies your um, consignment at all times. All of our supervisors are trained to assess the transport conditions and prevent any damage to the samples. So what is the difference? Unfortunately, the transportation, the cells by air, it is impossible to keep them directly in liquid nitrogen for the weak aviation safety rule. For this, we propose to use the transportation double-wall Cryo containers made the landing manufacturer Taylor Wharton or Embryos. Both comply with the requirements of international air regulations. They contain absorbing material which is filled with liquid nitrogen in advanced timing so that the nitrogen can be absorbed. All unabsorbed liquid nitrogen must be removed. The container is not transporting the luggage compartment, of course, but directly on the board under our continuous of supervisor. Mm, we have been let's go to our next slide. Uh, we have been providing both types of transportation, and if we talk about the experience of our company, we have 10 years of clear shipping experience, and we transferred to more than 25 countries in the world, as I told you before, and including post-USSR countries um, such as Ukraine, one of the most popular countries for the most popular, I guess, for surrogacy treatment, and the second one, I guess, it's Russia, and we always provide a complete delivery organization and with full compliance with FIATA standards and always with 24-hour support. Okay. In our job, we also we adhere the hand carry service. And what does it mean? Um, as I told you before, it's always fully escorted the full individual compliant delivery form at pickup point to the required destination. The transportation is carried out in a special container during the sensitivities. We always care about the temperature as it's very important in our job. It's very important for survival for any material which deliver from one point to another. Okay, so but who is our customers who actually require these services? Of course, the main part of customers are patients who need to transfer their own material for future treatment. But it's also available for the clinics and material concerns which require to transport donor materials for their future IVF cycle and as well as for IVF laboratories for some tests there, for example, PGS test or PGT test. Um, what kind of materials can we ship by this service, by our service? Actually, what is the main value of our effort? We successfully delivered all size embryos as well as semen samples, samples of biopsies, blood samples, and stem cells. Oh, it's actually how very often requests from our patient looks like. But as I had told you before, our service it is also for 24 hours. So we will respond to any request even without wide information in it. Our coordinators always helps to our customers to complete their orders as well as provide a quality communication with the clinics, which will be included to that process. Any questions from you will not be lost. Going to next slide. Oh, one of the main parts of our webinar, actually, I received a lot of requests from the patients and our customers to prepare the information regarding documents which is needed for that safe to deliver from one point to another. And the main document which describes the process of transportation in European area is called European Union Tissue and Cell Directive. And what is it? It is a set out of established and harmonized approach to the regulation of tissues and cells across Europe. The directive sets and benchmark for the standards that must be met when carrying out any activity involving tissues and cells for human application, actually for patient treatment. And it also concerns transportation of biological material inside EU and outside EU. And very often in my job I hear that from the patient or customer that it is forbidden to transport IVF samples from EU countries to non-EU and vice versa. And of course, it's not true. Uh, I agree that it's a little bit harder, but actually this directive gives an answer that in case you provide all requested documents which are mentioned in hack content, and no one can forbid you to transport your material for your treatment in any country in Europe. And if we are talking about country-specific laws regarding free shipment, we mean that each country can require some additional permits, uh, but usually it's almost similar with the content of EU tissue directive. The other directives which describe the process of transportation of IVF samples are FDA and FDFA regulations. The first one has strict regulation about import of biological samples to USA, and the second one regulates the movement of each biological material to the United Kingdom and outside of United Kingdom. And of course, we cannot forget about documents regarding export and import processes, which a lot of countries have. But actually, the samples of IVF do not have any commercial value. Um, but even in spite of that fact, there are some countries which still require for the declaration on the customs, and where you can fill information that it is going to be used not for commercial and only for treatment. So I'll go to the next slide. Second. What kind of other documents are required? The sensibility to the temperature of IVF samples demands to use a special equipment for their transportation, as well as a way of the shipment. For example, if we are talking about transportation on the board of aircraft, the tank container with sample has to be taken as a hand baggage with the constant care of the courier supervisor, as we already mentioned. And unfortunately, it's the only way to be sure that nothing bad will happen with your material. And of course, the container with material looks very untypical as a hand baggage. Uh, the, the passengers usually take with them on the board of the plane. So the best way to avoid some misunderstanding is to contact the air company and get a permit to take it on the board. Actually, in our next slide, I will tell you about the resolution which helps air company to provide a permission for transportation such kind of luggage. And as I had mentioned before, in some cases, the custom declaration could be required with identification codes for any biological material which cross the border, because each of them has their own identification code. But the main requirement can be an availability of certificated container for transportation, because all those directives in my previous slide can be used only for the container which complies with their regulation. And what does it mean? It means that in case the container has a certificate, there can be a proof that it passed some control, some tests. It was tested in the labs, and it will be valid for safety transportation of biological material. So let's go to our next slide. And what about international regulations? And as do you remember, as I promised to tell you about the resolution which helps the air company to provide a permission to transfer the shipper with IVF samples on the board of the airplane. So it calls IATA regulation. Um, it's actually an International Air Transport Association supports aviation with global standards for airline safety, security, and sustainability. And together with physical regulations, they allow to take insulated packaging containing refrigerated liquid nitrogen to a shipper fully absorbed in a vapor material containing only non-dangerous goods. And what is forbidden, as I had already told you before, it's forbidden to take the container with liquid. And the main the main points of Courier shipping is the safety of transportation. It's as I told you before, it's very important to have an opportunity to control all steps of the transportation from door to door. And that's why we perform all of our shipments with constant care of our human courier who is specially educated and transfer it from door to door. We also use a special marks like keep upright, do not irradiate, fragile. It always helps everyone, including security at the airport, to notice that its luggage has a well, very big value and for everyone. For additional safety of our shipper for transportation, we equip it with temperature logger with software. So everyone and anytime can check the temperature inside in real time, as well as get graphic illustration of the temperature during the whole trip. Because we know how important is the temperature for the frozen biological material and how sensitive are the cells to its change. And on this slide, you can see how actually looks the equipment for transportation. From the left side, you can see the 10 Cryo 10 container for transportation of IVF samples. And from the right side, you can see that it has a double wall where it's located a special absorb system for absorbing liquid nitrogen. And you can see there is the place for powder the samples actually, and below you can see a temperature logger to see the temperature in real time, and also the software for future preparation and graphic illustration during the whole trip. Um, so on this slide you can see the processes of transportation, because physical process of transportation includes the preparation of the necessary equipment. It means charging of the container, testing loggers, and also logistic preparation of the uh, transportation. And, now we can talk about, finally we can talk about delivery stages when you decide to transport your um, biological material. It doesn't matter if it's embryos or sperm samples or oocytes, what you have to do first, um, you should, the stage one, you should fill in the delivery form on our website. You can see the link on the right side. And after that, our coordinator will contact with you and how to prepare the price for you, make the delivery calculation of your own delivery. And as soon as we get confirmation of your order, it will be possible for us to start prepare the transportation. We also will require for contact details for both of the clinics, to contact with them, to inform they about the dates when we are planning to visit the clinic and pick up the samples, and the other clinic to inform her that we are going to deliver the samples to their lab. And in case only when we will get the confirmation from both of the clinics, we can start to prepare all necessary document paperwork for that process, as well as inform airport security about our visits, when we are going to fly from the one airport and other airport. And of course, we will deliver it from door to door with constant care of our supervisor. And the final point, our final point is successfully delivered, always. Uh, and we cannot forget, of course, about our geography of delivery, and where, as I have told you before, we delivered to more than 25 countries in the world. I actually not sure that I remember all of them. You could see it on this slide. And we actually always trying to find a way for the quick transportation for the request country, from the to the point there you are going to get your treatment. And of course, some very sweet feedback from our customers. It's very We are very glad always to get a feedback from our customers. We always write to them, asking them to send some feedback and saying something about our services. That's very sweet always. Thank you, everyone. So I'm very happy that you've been with me, and I would like to remind you about our special offer that everyone who joined to us, who've been with us during this webinar, will get discount in amount of 150 euros for any delivery of your material. We will help you to solve the problem together. And thank you for your attention. I'm very glad that you've been with me, and in case you will have some questions, I will be happy to respond to it that end. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay,
Dorothy,
thank you, Peter. Thank you.
yes,
Thank you for a very nice presentation. It was very informative. Okay, so let's start our questions and answer session. Peter, we have question number one. Can you please read the question and answer it?
yes, just a second. The first question is, I'm just
Can you see it? It's about picking up a point in the Netherlands. Is there a picking up point in the Netherlands? Question from Anita.
yes, we can ship the any biological material IVF for IVF to Netherlands. As it is part of European Union, it concerns the European tissue derivatives. There are any problem to pick up the IVF samples to Netherlands?
Okay, good. Question number 2, please.
Can we send outside from Belgium to Argentina? Yes, definitely. We have already delivered
Sorry,
all.
can you please read the question again? Because maybe not everyone could hear that.
Yes, sure. Can we send outside from Belgium to Argentina? Yes, sure. There are no problems, but the clinic in Argentina has to receive a permission from the local Ministry of Health to receive the oocytes from Europe. So,
Okay, thank you. I see. Question 3.
we are from Israel. We want to ask about new law in Czech Republic that says it is not allowed to fly embryos outside the European Union. That's not true. As your Czech Republic is a part of European Union, they actually follow the EU tissue directive, and it says that in case you will follow the strike rules of that directive, it will be possible to deliver it to a country which is located outside the European Union.
Okay, thank you. Question 4.
What are the prices? The prices could be different because it always depends from the cost of air tickets and um, from the dates of delivery. You should ask us in your own case.
Okay, so maybe a question from me. You said that it depends on the dates.
Yes,
So are there any dates that are more expensive or more affordable?
if it will be at in advance, at least 3 weeks before, it will be cheaper, definitely.
Okay.
But in case you will call me and tell that you need to ship your materials tomorrow, of course it will be very expensive.
Okay. Question number 5. Question number 5.
Let me find it. Is it possible to send frozen embryos from Kiev, Ukraine to USA? California and America. Yes, definitely. As I mentioned before, the only requirement is to receive the permission from FDA as it regulates all imports to USA.
Okay, Peter, that was extra question. Question 5 is still there. Can you see it? Can you work
Yes,
with Canadian
sure.
clients?
Can you work with Canadian clients? Could you be so kind to let me know whether you have an experience of transportation to Canada? Yes, we have an excellent experience to transport the biological material to Canada. There is actually allowed to bring the biological material from Europe as well as from other countries.
Okay. Peter, I think one of the patients asks about repeating the answer regarding the Czech law. She says that they were told the law started uh,
Yes,
on
yes,
January the
I see.
1st.
Yeah, I see. So, as I have already told about the specific of transportation from European countries to uh, countries which are located outside the EU, uh, there could be some additional permits, local permits of Czech Republic, which they require to get in advance for transport some material outside the Czech Republic as well as the European Union, but they cannot forbid to transport it outside because it follows EU tissue directives, and EU tissue directives says that in case you will provide all requested documents in content of the directive, it will be possible to ship it outside EU as well as outside Czech Republic.
Okay, thank you. Um, Okay, question number 6.
Can we go to Belgium in order to pick up our order? Actually, could you please clarify that question? Do you mean that you have to arrive to Belgium for order our service, or you can make your order online in our website?
Okay, that was question from Patricia. Okay, let's wait for Patricia. Okay, that's what she meant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. No, you don't have to arrive to Belgium. You can make your order online on our website. Uh, just follow the link I have mentioned in my previous slide, and our coordinator will contact with you, and it will be possible to receive all necessary information from you by email, as well as receive some documents which will be requested for that process.
Right, question number 6. Can you please read it? No, sorry, not 6, 7. Question 7.
Would you please name the clinics in Toronto that you are working with? We have a very good experience to transport biological material for IVF to new lives in Toronto.
Okay, question 8. Question 8.
Is it correct that we need FDA agreement to be able to send embryos to the USA? So how the clinic can match those requirements? There are the list. Actually, the clinic in USA where you're going to get your treatment has to require to the FDA that they are going to receive some materials, and there are some how to uh, prepare it. You have to send the blood of the patient to the FDA, and they will check that this material um, doesn't have any infection, and after that they will send a resolution that it will be possible that you can ship it to USA.
Okay, question 9.
And are the partners insured? Do you
Short.
have insurance during the transport processes? Some of them are insured because it depends from the country. You can require in your country to any services which can insure your embryos, and we will provide all requested information. That's actually what we do with a lot of our patients.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay, Tracy and Nicholas are typing. Let's wait. Okay.
Okay, Tracy, will you
Tracy,
provide
yes.
the receiving laboratory with temperature data logger data? Of course. We will provide a graphic illustration for what was the temperature during the whole delivery. Then you
Okay.
will get a result as well as the doctor in your lab.
And again, question from Patricia.
And Peter, do you have any email or telephone number? Yes, sure. You can find my email, our direct email on our website in the link I have already showed you.
Okay, question 11. 11.
11. You said you
Yeah.
have 100 success. In case you fail, do you give a refund of the new shipment? We actually have an agreement, consent form, that we describe the processes, how it will look like. But from our experience, we didn't have any case that we need to transport it again.
Okay, we have question 12 from question 12.
How far can the parcel go? Is there a maximum distance? What is the longest safe flight for the embryos? The containers for transportation is valid for transportation with suitable temperature for survival of IVF samples during 10 days. But usually to deliver it from Europe to USA, it takes about 1-2 days, not more.
Okay, let's wait for more questions. Question from Libya.
I would like to
Question.
ship sperm from Denmark to India. Are there any sales shipping February or March? Yes, you can contact with us by email, and we will respond to your request and send you all information regarding your case.
Okay, question 14 about cars.
What cars do you use for on-road transport? We actually use our own cars, as well as some very suitable trains for very quick transportation with carrying of our supervisor.
Okay, we're waiting for more questions. Okay, there's a question from Doric. So this is question 15.
Okay. Hi. How many embryos can you ship in once? Spent. Usually the containers valid for transportation 35 embryos, but we will ship how much as you need. We will prepare the. We will help to solve your problem.
Okay, question 16.
Is there GPS tracking live available? Yes, sure. We have a GPS system when you can see how it goes from the start point to the final destination.
Okay. Is the GPS tracking system is included in the service, or is it charged extra?
No, it's charged extra.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're waiting for more questions. I can see that 2 people are typing. Let's wait a moment. Question 17 from Doric. Can I contact?
Just a second. Can I contact Courier during his way? Is his correct? Does a person use a supervisor container? Yes, as I already mentioned, we always perform our transportation with constant care of supervisor. Um, but unfortunately, it's not possible to contact with him on his way because he's very quick and strike right to the final point, and a lot of times he spent with his flights, of course, and takes a lot of time. But you can contact with our company, and we will inform you about each step of delivery.
Okay. Question 18.
And do we pay in advance or after getting a parcel? Uh, we prepare the invoice, and um, it will be possible for you to pay one part in advance and one part after performing of your shipment, and the lab will receive the material.
And question 19 about India.
Is it safe to ship to New Delhi, India? Yeah, there are not any problem to ship into India. It takes about 10 hours as much as to USA. Same.
Is it
If you're talking
the same
about,
for from India, let's say? Can you do that? Can you organize that?
yes, sure.
Okay. And question 20.
Are shipments from Spain to USA easy, and from Spain to Mexico? And there are there are some requirements about Mexico because the labs or clinics have to receive a permission from the local Ministry of Health, but it's quite easy to ship it to USA from Spain in case we will provide all necessary documents for FDA. We will get a permission for FDA.
Okay, question 21.
Can you help communicate with the clinic? I don't know which documents are required. Of course, we always we always provide a communication with both of the clinics. We always contact with them and control the process and helping to prepare all requested documents.
Okay, thank you. Do we have
It's a
any more
part of our
questions?
job.
Question 22 from Libya.
Can I send the egg donation from Courier together with the sperm from Denmark? Um, I would. Could you please clarify this question? Do you mean if it's possible to ship it together with the same tank, or it should be transported separately? Did I receive some clarification?
Libya, can you specify what you meant? Okay, ship it together.
No, unfortunately, it's not possible to ship it together. It has to be transported with a separate tank.
Okay. She meant together in separate containers. Is that
Yes,
possible?
of course. Yes, that's possible. In separate containers, it's possible to send it together in the same date.
So then these are two shipments or one shipment for the
It's
customer?
one shipment, but with two separate containers.
Okay, of course. Okay, let's wait for more questions. I think we still have a couple of minutes, maybe 10, 15, so we can accept more questions. It's better
Yes,
to ask
sure.
now. The expert can answer. Yes, we have question from Lydia.
Can you please clarify about the price for the separate shipments at the same time? We have to check it. You can contact with us directly, and we will prepare according to your case. It's depending how we will organize it and contact with you to get a permission to transport it, and how fast do you need to receive it in the lab of the final destination of it. clinic where you are going to get your treatment.
Question from Doric.
Are there any limitations how long the embryos have been stored before they're shipped? No, there are not a limit for the embryos of their storage.
Okay, Livia, no problem. You can contact us or Peter by email, and he will be happy to tell
Yes,
you more
sure.
about the shipment. Maybe my question is if a customer wants to transfer two samples in one shipment, do we need two sets of documents for that, or only one set of documents?
You have to prepare to transfer act where you can mention the uh, type of material, how many samples there, and uh, how long it was stored, and that's all.
Okay,
The other documents are standard for that process.
there's question 24.
So transportation will not have an impact on their quality. Uh, yes, it will not impact on their quality. Uh, it depends also from the how it was stored, in the clinic. We always provide you a suitable container with all requirements for survival of that material.
Okay. Does anyone have more questions? Doric is typing. Let's wait. Doric is asking for an email address. Your email address, Peter?
Yes, sure. You can find just let me do our show you our website, and you can find our direct email right there. Just a second. I will send you it in the chat, okay? Give me some time. Okay?
Of course, if you prefer that Peter contacts you, um, you can wait a couple of days and we can do that by email, right, Peter? Yes, can you contact some of the participants? Hello?
So here is our direct mail address. So simply contact us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sure. I will
Someone,
also provide you our phone number. Just a second.
the company name is First Egg Bank. Um, Egg Bank that does also cryo shipping. Okay, Peter is looking for the phone number for you, and in the meantime, if you have any more questions, you still have a chance to ask them. Okay, Peter, whenever you are ready, we have a question from Nicholas
Yeah.
about Spanish and French customer.
Do you have Spanish and French language speaking assistant over the phone? Yes, sure. We have a Spanish speaker as well as French speaker. We will be glad to provide all necessary information in the language which will be suitable for you.
Do you have any other languages
Yes, we
apart
also
from
have
English?
Russian languages and Chinese languages
Fantastic. Okay.
and Germany languages as well.
Okay, so German, Russian, Spanish, French, English.
Yes. And here is our phone number.
Is 322 the extension number, country code? Is it the country
Yes,
code?
it's our country code.
Okay,
Plus
exactly.
322.
Peter, would you like to add anything to our participants? Maybe you have some extra information you can share. Um,
No, I just would like to say thank you to all of you and that you spent your time with me, with us, with that webinar. And we will be glad to help you anytime when you will contact with us. We will be glad to respond to your email, and I will provide you all information you need in our email and separately to your email address.
okay, thank you very much, Peter. And big thanks to all participants. Thank you for great questions. I hope you will be able to use cryo shipping services soon and successfully. Good luck in your treatment. Um, and thank you very much for listening, for being with us. And if we don't have any more questions, I think we can finish our webinar. Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, everybody.